Yo, what's goody, folks? Apparently, going to trade school and being a stellar man in America, making six figures as time goes on, having enough money to take care of your family, isn't good enough, even for rappers who apparently want to go to nursing school at one point. So we got these two rappers, one by the name of ROB49 and one by the name of Skilla, baby. Now, me, I think one is from New Orleans and one is from Detroit. I don't have a vendetta against these dudes, but I did come across this clip of them on the Breakfast Club kind of down talking, trade workers. And it kind of made me wonder why they said it, but that's why we're here to kind of figure this whole thing out. So if you don't know, I want to take y'all back into the first rapper's history and what he did before he was a rapper, so we can kind of try to figure out why someone would even want to say these things based on their background that they had before they were famous.
When y'all decide y'all wanted to take rap serious? Because I think I read somewhere, Rob, that you went into the National Guard.
Yeah.
And you was gonna go into the nursing school.
Yeah.
What made you not want to do that and rap?
I was just failing, bro. Just simple as that. Just failing. And I'm like, man, I can't be one of these niggas out here going back to the project and sitting on the block all day again. Like, I can't do that. My partner had a studio, and my brother was rapping. And I went in there and wrote a rap one day. He like, man, this is crazy. I was the one really you know what I'm saying? And he like, man, we gonna just keep running with you. And that was that.
Damn. What about you?
As soon as I dropped, I was just hot.
Taking rap serious, I think I used to be running around with Sada Baby a lot. That's like my big brother. I seen him making all the money off this shit. And I'm like, I could do that too. I was already rapping. Like, everybody in Detroit rap, but you don't see people be successful at it. A lot of people, like y'all said, start being successful at it at once, one time. So it's just and then for the longest they had Detroit as a certain sound. Now it's everybody got different sounds. So I think that's connected with other artists, seeing what works and doing all that type of stuff. And people develop their own sound. But for the longest, people didn't rock with us because they felt like we rap fast and the beats were just too gritty, and we talking about a whole bunch of foolishness. But everybody making songs now. You got V's and people like Babyface Ray. They sound totally different, but they mesh good together. It's all type of people in the city. So that just made me want to go harder, just seeing other people.
Why nursing school, Rob?
My same partner that was rapping, I remember we was in the hood one day. He like, man, I'm gonna go to school for 2 years. I'm like, man, I gotta go to school for 4 years. Why you gotta go to school for 2? I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm like, man, I'm gonna do it. He like, man, you can't do it. So when I had wind up going to college, finally, they're like, what's your major? When they asked me what's my major, that's when I picked my major, and I'm just nursing.
Rob was like, I only want to go for 2 years.
Right.
I respect college for 2 years, makes sense.
But before they even got into this, they was talking about going on tour and having to take less money to kind of get your name out there. And if you don't make a certain amount of sales, labels drop you. So to kind of go out there and give people advice about what they're about to talk about is just kind of utterly belittling to a lot of the working class people of America. So what a lot of people tend to not think about, and it's the same thing that happens with even the women, they say, well, we don't need men, and they realize men handle a lot of the infrastructure. So what they talk about when they come to talk about the trade school, they don't really realize how important it is for these people of these trades for our economy, and how it can really, really benefit a lot of the youth out there who kind of look up to be rappers. And the reason I kept this clip on there is because, as he said, a lot of people don't really get successful from rap, but in the black community, a lot of people look up to rappers and ball players. Now, unfortunately, everybody can't be LeBron, and on the other hand, everybody will just never be Jay-Z or Kanye, and that's just literally a fact. So when you go to tell people, yeah, I wanted to be a nurse at one point in time, and I went to the National Guard to get my life together, but then the advice you give now, it just kind of doesn't go hand in hand, so it's kind of contradicting.
Trade school?
Nah, I ain't never want to be one of them type.
Oh, you an old school guy for real.
Man, trade school is where it's at. You say old school, but you always gonna need an electrician.
For sure.
You always gonna need a plumber. You always gonna need a mechanic.
That's something my
I had too much sauce. In high school, I was one of the latest youngins in my city, since 8th grade. I couldn't go be an electrician or a plumber, bro. I just got too much.
A job is a job, though.
But I'm just telling you,
they ain't gonna call them for no electric.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna be like, man, Rob was an electrician. Man, dude, tripping. Bro.
That's fire. Be a lit electrician? That could be the name of it. Litty electricity.
All the women going, all the women be acting like they got electric problems and all that to get you up over there.
Word up.
That's the type of life I wanted to live, some shit like that. Some little funny shit, but nah.
Yeah, so as you can see, right, this is what comes with upholding an image, even if you don't truly live by it. To me, there's not really much of a difference being a nurse and going to trade school. If you're willing to go to the National Guard and become a nurse, but then you down talk trades, when a lot of these tradesmen can in time either start their own business or make well over 6 figures if you do it correctly. I mean, I know head maintenance guys in certain buildings that make great money because without these people, certain buildings won't even be able to function. A lot of people barely can even use a plunger themselves, let alone deal with an HVAC system if their AC goes out or even know how to screw in a light bulb. So to say that, you know, going to trade school is whack, I get why you may have said that because you got an image to uphold. And we still go back to make references about this is how lit I was in high school. This is why a lot of the youth now still can't have no reason to do anything other than what they've been doing for the longest time, trying to emulate rappers like this. They see the jewelry, they see the chains, but then they don't really realize, like, yo, when it comes to rich rappers who make a lot of money, a lot of rappers aren't making money. Because I always ask people this, if the labels are having a hard time recouping, why do you think rappers are making money? If a rapper is signed to his homeboy and his homeboy has a partnership with this label, and that's just an umbrella label for his homeboy's label, and then that label has a deal with this label, they signed to 3 different people. Then you got to pay your road manager. Then you got to pay your personal manager. And then you got a business manager. And then you got to break bread for all your merch sales. And then your royalties already getting pennies on the dollar. You got to break bread with that. And then YouTube doesn't even pay that much. So now you got to break bread with that. So there's a lot of tricky behavior going on in the rap game. You know, they want to perceive to be a lot richer than they are. So to say like, yo, don't go to trade school, I highly encourage any young dude out there, because if you are a young kid, you go to trade school, even if your entry level starting off at 50, 70, whatever the case may be, and you build yourself up, and you still less than 30, you can make 100, you can make 100,000, 90,000, whatever the case may be. You invest your money correctly, you will probably have a longer time making a lot of money than most of these rappers do. Because the way this game goes is they don't have a long lifespan. I give a lot of these new rappers 2 to 3 years at most before they disappear and we don't hear from them no more. I mean, if you go even look at the old XXL freshman list and you just see who's still around after probably, I forget what year it was, my homie actually just sent it to me, but after a certain year where they had some of the prominent rappers that are still around today, a lot of these new ones, these kids won't really be around for a long time. Some of them really have summers and they disappear. So the rap industry is not really the most prominent industry, though you can make a lot of money, but for the youth, and for the people who look up to these people, they need to start recommending them to do things like this. But this is not really a personal jab at the rappers. They may not know. A lot of these dudes are still young. They come into the game, but to say you want to be a nurse and go to the National Guard, you sign up for the military, but then tell kids don't go to trade school, just goes to show the lack of information that has been put out to people in a way that makes it seem glamorous. One thing I could respect Meg Thee Stallion for is still going to finish college. Meg Thee Stallion probably has a lot more money than both of these dudes combined based off her fan base and based off how big of an artist she is and based on how she can solo tour and probably sell out shows. So when they go in and they come around and shelf rappers and they start shelfing rappers, as they was referring to earlier, a lot of these dudes have to go back to other ways of making money. And in no time, you start seeing rappers, yo, $200 for a shout out, blah, 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 blah. These guys can't make hits. Making hits are very, very hard to do. And nowadays, you get a lot of one-hit wonders, and sometimes they don't even be hits. They just push it on you so much, they just hope to recuperate their money, and a lot of people can't recoup money off rappers. That's just how the game goes, and that's how the game been. But yeah, it's definitely a funny situation, and a lot of these rappers, I mean, the rap industry is very strange. It's very, very weird that they did this, but let me know your thoughts about it if you're listening to us on the audio. Make sure you leave a rating, leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, man, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe to the channel. Keep us pushing up in the algorithms, so definitely leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts about the state of times we're in, and when rappers kind of do stuff like this to kind of misguide and, you know, undermine a lot of the hardworking people of America. And honestly, without electricians and all these different people who have these skills, they won't be able to do shows because they put on the shows and make sure these buildings are even usable. So it's very interesting when people say things like this without thinking, but no disrespect to these dudes. They probably just didn't think it all the way through. You let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment. It's your boy Dre, man. I'm gone.